What happens to a horse when it gets sick? It goes to the hospital. I'm just kidding. It gets shot. What up, YouTube? Let's here. Thanks again for visiting the channel. As always, I appreciate it. If this is your first time to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button just for the algorithm. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe. A couple more things. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram. That's the wrong card. I'm an idiot. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you'd be so kind. Let's _ do it up. And I've been saying a couple of videos. If anybody wants to send in some knives for me to review, I would really appreciate that. That would be fantastic. Just go ahead and go to my email, letsdiu79@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and send you my email, or I'm sorry, I'll go ahead and send you my shipping address if you want to send me a knife or two to review. And then last but not least, just for the knife we're going to review today, also on Instagram, go ahead and follow Pete Kottmeyer. He's a gentleman I met on Instagram a while ago, and he's been supporting the channel for a while. He sent me a few knives so far to review on the channel. He's got a fantastic collection. So he's been supporting the channel. I'd really appreciate it if you'd support him as much as possible. Just go ahead on the Instagram and give him a follow. Sorry it's been a while since I've been here. I've been dealing with some health issues with my dad. If I haven't been at work, I've been at the hospital. And it's just the last couple of days I've been, I've gone to record a video, and I just, I don't know, I haven't been able to do it. I don't know if that's because of what's going on with that, or if I'm kind of just going through a funk right now. I'm not sure what's happening, but I figured I'd just rip off the Band-Aid and just do it, and hopefully that would make it better. So anyway, today we are doing a quick review of the LIONG MAH knives, Warrior 2 V3. So let's do it up. This guy is 8.3 inches overall with a 3.6 inch blade, a 3.5 inch cutting edge, and a 4.6 inch handle. Some quick size comparisons compared to the REATE Model 1. The REATE's going to be just a hair longer than the Warrior. And compared to the REATE Model 2, the REATE 2 is obviously going to be quite a bit shorter than the Warrior. The DEMKO knives, DEMKO 8020S. This one's going to be just a hair shorter, I believe. Yeah, just a hair shorter than the Warrior. And the 20.5 is obviously going to be quite a bit shorter than the Warrior. Last but not least, we've got the SPYDERCO knives, SPYDERCO PM2. This guy's going to be just a hair shorter than the Warrior as well. And compared to the Para 3, the Para 3 obviously is going to be quite a bit shorter. Carry profile. Get these guys closed. Alright, so it looks like with the blades closed, it looks like the Para 2 and the Warrior are just about the same size. And the Para 3 obviously is going to be quite a bit shorter. The thickness compared to the Para 3, as you can see, the Para 3 is going to be just the Warrior is going to be just a little bit thicker than the Para 3. And the height on this guy is not going to be anywhere near as tall as the Para 3. Blade stock thickness. Let's see if my calipers are still working. I think I'm going to have to replace the battery on this guy pretty soon. It keeps kind of like blinking on and off, so we'll see what happens with that. Yep, it's doing it again. Hold on, let's try one more time. Okay, so we're looking at 139 thousandths on this guy. That's good. And let's check a quick weight on the Warrior. Hey, it turned on right away. That's awesome. Okay, so we're looking at 4.4 ounces. Let's turn it around, make sure. Yep, 4.4 ounces. Perfect. All right, so blade steel here is M390. We've gone over that quite a few times. A lot of the knives I've done recently are in M390. And, I'll cover that again towards the end of the video, just in case you guys don't want to hear about it. We're looking at a Tanto profile here with a very a very mild hollow grind. And then you've got, towards the tip of this compound grind, it's the flat grind up there. You've got a flat that carries out to about 90% the length of the blade, a swedge that carries out to about 60% the length of the blade. I'm sorry, a fuller that carries out to about 60% the length of the blade, and you've got a swedge that starts about, I'd say, 20 to 25% down the blade here and carries out all the way to the tip. This guy, let's see here, is it centered? Okay, yeah, it's perfectly centered. And let's check the balance real quick. Yep, right behind the pivot. That's perfect. All right, good. We are looking at a knife that is running on bearings for sure, super duper smooth. And as you can see, the action on this guy is absolutely fantastic. Falls down very easily, slips right out with the flipper, and unfortunately you can't get at that fuller there to deploy the knife, so it is just a flipper operated knife. The hardware here, we're looking at a T8 all the way around. Everything here is a T8, including the pocket clip screw. There is a titanium backspacer and a titanium milled pocket clip. I'll come back to that in just a minute. Now, this is a titanium frame lock knife. A lot of people would call this a bolster lock, or maybe a sub-frame lock. I'm not sure exactly what to call it because this isn't really part of the bolster. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this a titanium frame lock with a carbon fiber overlay on it. We have some absolutely beautiful marbled carbon fiber overlays on this guy. The carbon fiber work on this is absolutely perfect. I don't really see a whole lot of voids. There are some tiny voids. I don't even know if I can get it focused enough for you to be able to see them. They're so small. So that's pretty good. And as you can see, the fit and finish on this knife is absolutely perfect. I can't find any areas on these inlays where there's issues with the alignment or matching up with the titanium. REATE did a very good job with the inlays on this knife. The backspacer is pretty nice. It's got a little bit of like a gear milling here, and there is a spot here for a lanyard for you lanyard people out there. Now, the pocket clip, I'm not a huge fan. It's too small for me, and I don't know why it is. It just is. It's okay. It allows it to go into the pocket relatively easily. The milling on it is okay. And it comes out just fine. It just seems a little too small for me. And the only reason I feel like the pocket clip goes with the knife is because it kind of matches the blade a little bit, but otherwise it doesn't seem like it goes with this knife at all. You've got this line that comes up this way. I kind of feel like it would have been better if they would have milled it to go along with this line right here that goes along with the inlay. And I feel like it would have been better if it was a little bit longer and a little bit wider. But that's just my opinion. It's just a preference thing. Everybody has their own, opinion on things. I'm not going to say you shouldn't buy the knife because of the pocket clip, because that's stupid. Not that it really matters, because you can't really buy this knife right now anyway. There is a version that you can buy, but this is not it. I'll link that version down in the descriptions if you guys are interested in buying this knife. Another thing that I have kind of an issue with is just, this very nice fuller here, which always kind of look like a stone-washed finish. Kind of like a heavy stonewash finish when compared with the rest of the blade. You've got these grind lines here, which are absolutely gorgeous, and then you've got the grind lines that are kind of going in the opposite direction on the flat, and that looks very nice. The fuller looks really nice as well. I really kind of just wish it was functional. I wish you could use it to deploy the blade. That being said, I'm kind of glad they didn't make it taller so that you could use the fuller. I kind of feel like if the blade was any taller, it would ruin the look of the knife. I really like the straight lines on this guy, especially when it's open. You've got this groove here for your index finger. There obviously is no forward finger choil, so you can't use that as a choke up point, but I don't really think you need to. Oops, sorry, I don't have the knife centered in the camera. So yeah, I like the straight lines on this knife, and I absolutely like it when it's closed. I kind of like the fact that you can't see most of the blade when the knife is closed. I think it's just a really good look for this knife. So I kind of feel like if they would have made it taller so that you could get to that fuller, I kind of feel like it would have ruined the look of the knife altogether. The flipper tab is kind of low profile. I don't necessarily know that I'd call it low profile, but it's certainly not super tall or gaudy or anything like that. And it works really, really well. You've got a little bit of jimping up here on the spine of the blade, and you've also got a little bit of jimping here on the tip of the flipper tab. What else did I want to talk about with this guy? The disengagement is fine. There's no lock stick at all. The action is fantastic. Deploys very, very well with the flipper tab, and as you can see, when you disengage it, it just kind of falls right back down into the handle with no problem whatsoever. It doesn't need any encouragement or shake shut or anything like that. It is absolutely perfect. The bearings on this knife work very, very well, and the D10 is tuned absolutely perfectly. Some people might consider it to be a little bit of a light D10, but I don't think so. It doesn't seem too light to me at all. The pivot looks nice. It's got some nice milling here on the pivot collar, and I really like the way they did the lock bar here. It's just a small piece of the titanium. You don't have to worry about your fingers getting onto the lock bar at all and stopping the blade from deploying. And it's still very, very easy to get at, even though you don't really have any lower milling here on the show side to help you to get at that lock bar. There is a little bit of scalloping on both sides to help you get at the lock bar, so it's very, very easy to disengage without much of a problem, even though I have huge thumbs. Ergonomically, this thing is, I don't know if I'd call it a dream, but it is very, very, very comfortable. This pocket clip does cause a little bit of a hot spot, so if you were to be using this thing for any length of time, it would probably get a little bit irritating on your hand. I don't know that you would want to wear gloves using this thing. It seems kind of like almost more like a gentleman's carry knife. So it's kind of just something you take out, you deploy, you use, you close it, and you put it back into your pocket. It seems like this is what kind of knife that is. Not necessarily a hard use knife, more of like a light to medium use knife. It is very, very beautiful. The titanium work on it is done very well. The milling work is done very well on it. And as I said earlier, the carbon fiber work on it is done very, very well. Again, with the M390, you're looking at a steel that is very well rounded. It's perfect for edge retention. It's perfect for corrosion resistance, and it's pretty good for toughness. It's not exactly the toughest steel in the world, but it seems like the most well-rounded steel out there on the market today. It's comparable to or comparable to 20 CV or 204P. Let's see here. I think that's it for this knife, guys. I don't really have much else to say about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. So stay up, y'all. Take it easy. Bye.